Welcome to Cubs Classics. I'm Cole Wright. Over the next few hours, we're reliving one of the most memorable games in Cubs history. This one taking place on opening day. Now, all of the passion and all of the emotion will be on display. We'll get to experience it right here together. Ryne Sandberg, he'd unexpectedly retired during the 1994 season at the ripe age of 34 in order to devote more time to his family. But after less than 2 years away from the game, Ryno decided to return to the Cubs, the second Chicago sports icon to wear number 23 and unretire during the 1990s. Now, opening day at Wrigley Field in 1996 had even more anticipation for Cubs fans, especially with Sandberg's return. Now, he was back in his customary space, batting second, playing second for the Cubs in their opener against San Diego. But in the end, Sandberg was upstaged on this opening day.
April the 1st, 1996, baseball time at Wrigley Field, the earliest opening date in history. Come over and join us. A beautiful day. The sun is shining, and the Cubs anxious to start with a victory. Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrabee. And you couldn't want a better day than this.
Well, Harry, it is gorgeous, and everybody ready for baseball. High hopes here in 1996. The Cubs had a great spring training, and Harry, just about everybody's healthy.
You know, Wayne, all we need, if we win this first game, then we only got 89 more to win to get in the playoffs for sure.
You got that right, Harry, and no better time to start than right now.
You know, it's amazing, the enthusiasm of the people coming to the ballpark. They're lined up all over the ballpark. I don't know what's going on, probably a million parties.
Well, it was certainly announced that it's a sellout here today. You see Jamie Navarro walking in. He's ready for his first opening day start ever. And he had some good years in Milwaukee, a great year last year. But, Harry, your first opening day start, you got to have some butterflies.
You know, Andy Ashby, it's a funny thing. He was a pitcher thrown into the deal later when they acquired Brad Osmus. And it turns out he's our best pitcher.
Yeah, he's starting opening day. It's his second year with this ball club. He had a great ERA last year. He only got about 3.6 runs per game. Otherwise, this guy probably wins 17 games last year. So this is a quality pitcher. It is a great pitching matchup here on opening day.
There's a look at Tony Gwynn, everybody's odds-on favorite to win yet another batting title. He's only got 6 of them so far, Harry, so I'm sure that he's not going to have any problems hitting the baseball. And there's the man that everybody wants to see, Ryne Sandberg, back in a Cub uniform, back at second base, and back in the starting lineup.
You know, I hope we don't put too much pressure on Sandberg and just look on him as another ball player, because it's a ball team that has to win, not any one individual. All right, we're ready for baseball. Are you? Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. And here are the lineups. Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Padres, has this lineup. Ricky Henderson leading off. Steve Finley in center field. Tony Gwynn in right field. Ken Caminiti at third base. Wally Joyner at first base. Brad Osmus, the catcher. Andujar Cedeno at shortstop. Jody Reed, the second baseman. And Andy Ashby is on the mound. Pepsi gives you the Cubs defense, which is Gonzalez, McRae, and Sosa in the outfield. Hernandez at third. Sanchez at short. Sandberg at second. Grace at first. Service catching. Navarro pitching. And the umpire, Jim Quick behind the plate. David DeMuth at first. Gary Darling at second. Charlie Relaford at third. And boy, anybody who doesn't get excited about the opening game of the season, something must be wrong with them. First pitch gets away for service. Ball one low and away.
There's a look at Jamie Navarro, and Jamie Navarro has got to throw strikes to Ricky Henderson, because you've got to keep him off base if you're going to beat the Padres.
And the pitch inside almost hit him. Boy, you know, Ricky Henderson leads the major leagues in bases stolen. Over 1,100 or something.
He also has an abnormally high on-base percentage. It's usually around or over 400. And that's a testament to his ability to draw a walk.
I tell you, there's a strike call, and it's evened up 2-2. 67 different times he's let off an inning with a home run. Let off the ball game, the first inning with a home run, a record. 2-2. Ah, come on. Boy, he had good stuff on that slider. Believe you me, and that brings a roar from the crowd.
This one out away from Henderson. He just swings through it. Jamie Navarro throwing awfully hard here today. You got to believe in this, his first major league opening day assignment, that he has got to be tremendously pumped up.
One out, nobody on. And here is Steve Finley, their center fielder. You know, Henderson stole 32 bases last year. He's leading off for them. He was with Oakland last year. Here's a ground ball foul. Steve Finley playing center, batting now, stole 36 bases. Tony Gwynn, besides being the great hitter that he is, stole 17 last year. So that'll give you an idea of their speed. At the top of the batting order, foul ball.
If you can get loose today, it's a tremendous advantage to the pitcher. Hitters just don't like to hit the ball, especially inside. You get a lot of buzzing in your hands if you don't hit the ball squarely, and Navarro should be able to take advantage of it. He throws 93, 94 miles an hour.
He barely tipped it foul. And so the count still stays 0-2.
There's a man behind the plate who had such a brilliant year last year after coming over from Houston in what turned out to be a great trade for Ed Lynch and the Cubs. Louis Gonzalez and Scott Service doing yeoman-like work.
Just a little bit outside. Well, Atlanta, opening its season at home, is leading the Giants 4-0 at the end of 4. What else is new? High fly ball. Who's going to get it? Hernandez near the stands, can't reach it. The wind blowing more in on more cross field than anything, wouldn't you say?
I would say, Harry, it's blowing pretty much straight in. It's going to be very difficult to hit the ball out of the ballpark today unless you hit a line drive out. It will go out, however. We saw Sammy Sosa and Ozzie Timmons hit line drives out of the park in batting practice. So if you can hit the ball on the line over the 368 mark or take it down the line, especially in right field, it will go out of the park.
Finley count 1 ball, 2 strikes. He held up in time. They appeal. Hey! The third base umpire says he went around. Charlie Rutherford.
Finley not very happy with this hard slider down. Jim Quick didn't see it, but Charlie Rutherford said he went around far enough. Look at the reaction of Steve Finley. You got to figure it's going to be a long year if they're calling that early, but Jamie Navarro will take it. 2 up, 2 strikeouts. Good hard slider.
What else is new? First pitch, Tony Gwynn lines a double to left field. On the very first pitch from Jamie Navarro, Tony Gwynn shooting for his 7th batting title, which would tie him with Sam Musial, doubles to left.
Gwynn probably one of the few guys who hit much less in Arizona than he'll probably hit this year, and he hit 344 in spring training. But Gwynn showed you just why he is one of the great hitters to ever put on a uniform. He just went right with it, sliced it down the line for 2 bases. This might be a nice time for Sanchez to sneak in back of Gwynn, maybe shorten up that lead with the outfield playing a little more shallow, and also serve notice to the base runners that you do have a pickoff move at second base.
Caminiti almost hit by a pitch ball. 33 years old now. By the way, this is Frank Castillo's 27th birthday today. Tomorrow being an off day, he'll celebrate by pitching the final game of the series Wednesday. There he is in the warmth of the Cub dugout.
Caminiti had a breakthrough year for him last year in the power department. 26 home runs, 94 driven in, and he hit 302.
Line drive right at Hernandez. Saved the run. and the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left. Bottom of the first, no score.
How much dogs do you have?
I got 7 dogs.
Welcome to Bay versus Ballplayer.
Cubs win on a grand slam by Hayward.
You need something you can run to that makes you happy.
I think everybody hopes to play forever.
We're mic'd up.
I tried to play Fortnite. I downloaded it. No chance.
Nah.
Catch the best Cub moments every month with the Best of Cubs YouTube on Marquee Sports Network.
People from Chicago pull for Chicago. We root for its teams, celebrate its successes, push through its challenges. When people call us the second city, it's misleading. We're second to none. We're hardworking, resilient, but we have a good time. When you live in Chicago, you proudly call this home. Your bank should too. We're Wintrust, built here, for here. And we've taken our place as Chicago's bank because no other bank can say the same.
Tomorrow, millions of Americans will go to work and our children will go to school. Some will travel to visit loved ones and others will simply come home. America will move tomorrow because of the oil and gas we produce today. Dakota Access Pipeline is proud to stand alongside the more than 14,000 oil and gas workers right here in Illinois who work in the oil and gas fields, along the pipelines, and in the refineries to provide the energy that makes our economy strong and our communities stronger.
Cadillac invites you to move up in the world at the Cadillac Move Up sales event. Move up to available Wi-Fi hotspot capability. Move up to cutting-edge design. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. Make your way to your nearest Cadillac showroom today. During the Move Up sales event, get this low-mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT5 for around $419 per month.
Join Marquee Sports Network for Cubs 360.
All right, let's enjoy ourselves. They're a very talented team, the Chicago Cubs, in a very talented division.
Once you start eliminating hit and runs, bunts, all these other ways to create action, you're just sitting back for basically the 3-run home run.
That's what accountability is that knowing you're giving everything you have that day to win, because so am I.
I think the Cubs can win this division. I don't see why not. I really don't.
Cubs 360, Tuesday at 10 on Marquee Sports Network.
Carey with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrabee. Here's Pepsi's lineup for Jim Rittenberg. McRae leading it off in center field. Sandberg at second. Grace at first. Sosa in right. Gonzalez in left. Service catching. Hernandez at third. Sanchez playing short. Navarro on the mound. Here's the Padres defense of Henderson, Finley, and Gwynn on the outfield, and then the infield coming in. He robbed of a double his first time up. Cedeno, Reed, and Joyner with Ashby pitching and Osmus catching.
Cedeno had some problems last year defensively, but he had a great spring. And Andy Ashby had a remarkable year last year, a .294 ERA. He walked only 62 men in 192 innings, and for him it was a breakthrough year. He had previously a lot of control problems.
He originally was signed by the Phillies. First pitch, and he swings easy out. Jody Reed over to first on the first pitch. And listen to the hand now for Ryne Sandberg. A standing ovation.
Coming back in '96 after taking a year off was very special. It really was. I was a newly married man at that point, married for about a half a year. So with Margaret, my wife, and the kids, to go there and to play 2 more years, it was very special. But that first opening day, I was against the San Diego Padres, and I just remember the fans' reception of coming back and playing. And Jim Riggleman was the manager. We had some good players. They came up just short the year before of getting to the playoffs. So I felt really good about our chances and the team that year. And came a little bit short the last week of that season, but overall that opening day was special, coming back to Wrigley.
The last time he played for the Cubs in the National League was back in 1994, May 10th, 2 years ago. 0-1 the count. Jim Riggleman, the Cub manager, very conscious of the fact there's a lot of pressure on Sandberg, and he wants people to think of him as just another big part of this ball club, because teams win. Individuals may get awards, but it takes a team to win. 1 out, nobody on. Line drive, left center field. The wind's gonna hold it up. Holy cow, Ricky Henderson. That ball would have been the first home run. Listen to Handy Gibbs trotting back into the dugout. Oh, no doubt about that one. But the wind held it up.
Sandberg hit that ball right on the button and was just stopped from a Cinderella first at bat by a very heavy wind blowing straight in.
This joint had gone crazy. Here's Grace. First pitch over the outside corner. I guess a lot of them are saying, Ryne, you picked the wrong day. If the wind had not been blowing at all, it would have been a home run. But if it had been blowing out, been up against a Budweiser sign on the other side of Wayland Avenue. Speaking of Budweiser, Jim Nally, a good friend of Ray Knoll of Budweiser, here today. And Don Easter with a group of 100 on the roof at Jim Murphy's. Watching the ball game. They're smart, they're in the bar, and that's where they probably are right now. Don Eastrom of River North distributing. The big wholesale man, big wholesaler for Budweiser in the near north side.
Andy Ashby, good-sized pitcher at 6'5", 190 pounds, out of Kansas City, Missouri. And he's got a much better defense behind him this year, anchored by Wally Joyner at first and Ken Caminiti at third.
Whoa, he's called him out on a pitch. Looked low, 1, 2, 3, nothing across. At the end of 1, no score.
Are you in a job you can't stand? Do you want a rewarding career with great growth potential?
What a career in IT means to me is unlimited options. Before my computer career, I was struggling to make ends meet.
You don't have to have any form of IT experience when you walk into this campus.
They guide you every step of the way to help you find your dream job.
I want this, and I can do this.
Train for a better life at mycomputercareer.edu. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and fill out the free career evaluation right now.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. With Sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
We are T-Mobile, the first to go unlimited. First with no annual service contracts. First with taxes and fees included. Now T-Mobile has the first and only nationwide 5G network, reaching over 5,000 cities and towns and over 200 million Americans. And T-Mobile is not charging extra for 5G access. Because this isn't our network, it's yours.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, share their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, weekdays at noon on Marquee Sports Network.
First game of the year. I bet you're thinking of the number 90.
Well, you know, you've mentioned that before, Harry, and that'd be a nice number. I think you could do a lot of good things with 90, but, you know, we got to get number 1 first. We're facing a tough ball club here today, and then when these guys leave town, you face the tough Los Angeles Dodgers. So every day is a tough challenge, and each win's a tough challenge.
Any particular disappointment to this date in spring training?
No disappointment in terms of the things that we really look at, and that's effort and intensity. We always had that. The one setback was the injury to Dave Magadan, but the good news is I think he'll be back a lot sooner than we thought.
Joyner, who was with Kansas City last year, opened the second with a soft single to right. He's on.
I was talking with Bruce Bochy before the game, and he says that despite the fact that they hit a lot of home runs in spring training, he realizes that the Padres are not going to be a power team. So although they don't have the fastest men outside of Henderson and Finley, they're going to be doing a lot of moving of the runners and a lot of hitting and running. And you might look for something here with Ausmus, who's a very good hit and run man and can also bunt. He's got surprising speed for a catcher.
You know, without a doubt, San Diego has the smartest catchers in baseball. Ausmus graduated from Dartmouth, and Johnson, Brian Johnson, I think it is, graduated from Stanford. Both high academic schools.
You think they'd be smart enough to get out from behind the plate? That's a tough job, Harry.
Yeah, but it's easier to make a big league ball club as a catcher than it is at any other position.
You know, you're absolutely right about that because of the scarcity of catchers. Something my father told me when I was 6 years old, and I started out as a catcher. When I got to 10, I told him, here, you keep the gear. I'm going to go to the mound.
And that's one of baseball's sad stories.
Yes. You're not kidding. It was downhill after that.
Well, wild pitch. And hits a backstop. A wild pitch, and Joyner advances a second.
No real chance for Scott Service that time. That ball hit well in front of the plate, bounced right off the chest protector of Service. We'll watch it again. He sets up outside. Jamie just holds on to the slider too long, and it bounces off the right bicep of Service. Hits the top of the screen, and on the play, Joyner moves to second. Now it's up to Ausmus, either by bunting to third or hitting the ball to the right side to get him to third base.
Ausmus came from the Rockies. As it turns out, along with Andy Ashby, was the player to be named later. So the starting battery for the Padres, Ashby and Ausmus, figured in the same trade, a good trade for San Diego. Bouncing ball. He tried to do that. Give him an E for effort. Bounced out on the first base side of the infield of Grace, enabling Joyner to advance to third. Well, there's a WGN Deluxe box, and it holds all the various important sponsors of Cubs baseball. Pepsi, Budweiser, Chrysler, Plymouth. Whoa, another wild pitch, and here's the first run of the ball game. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. How about that? You talk about not you yourself making a run. How the other team can help you make the run.
Well, there's another slider and another one that just eats up service. And Jamie, with cold hands today, holding onto the ball just a little too long, guiding both those sliders into the dirt. And a gift run for the Padres, but a run nonetheless as they go up 1-0.
Here's Andujar. Cedeno. Count on them 2-0 now. San Francisco got 2 off Maddox in Atlanta. But Atlanta leads 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th.
Cedeno has some surprising power for a shortstop, although last year a down year for him at .210 with just 6 home runs.
Strike call, 2-2. One nothing in favor of the Padres. Bouncing ball up the middle. Sanchez throws him out. Navarro might have just touched the ball, but Sanchez threw him out. You know, if you spell that young lady's name meat backwards, you get Eatem.
Yes.
E-T-E-M would be eat them.
That's what it's like in the shade today here at Wrigley Field.
Here's a pitch outside.
Actually very comfortable in the bleachers today because you have all the wind shielded. It's behind you. But the fans in the shade are experiencing weather more likely for the Chicago Bears.
Jody Reed, the second baseman, has run the count to 2 balls and a strike. 1-0 San Diego. Bouncing ball, Sanchez should throw him out, and he does. And Reed was not running. I don't know what happened. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. We go in the bottom of the 2nd. 1-0 San Diego.
Tomorrow, millions of Americans will go to work, and our children will go to school. Some will travel to visit loved ones, and others will simply come home. America will move tomorrow because of the oil and gas we produce today. Dakota Access Pipeline is proud to stand alongside the more than 14,000 oil and gas workers right here in Illinois who work in the oil and gas fields, along the pipelines, and in the refineries to provide the energy that makes our economy strong and our communities stronger.
I ain't got nobody till somebody takes a chance on me.
Motorcycles need riders, and riders need insurance. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle.
That works?
Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
This is the Frells family's land.
When the first snow fell, the kids went sledding right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more. Get a 1 Series tractor starting at $99 per month.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, sharing their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, weekdays at noon on Marquee Sports Network.
Down on the field with Ryne Sandberg and Rhino, you're back. It's been a while, and you have to have some jitters on opening day.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's all part of opening day. And, you know, if I didn't have the jitters, then I wouldn't be standing here in a Cubs uniform today. So, you know, the butterflies will be there. And, you know, I think once I take the field and get out there and doing what I do, then everything will calm down. And then I'll get down to work and try and help us win a game today.
Are you pleased with everything that happened during the spring?
Absolutely. You know, I feel fine physically and mentally, and just ready to go. Felt like I had one of my better springs. Just hit the ball well and got my body into shape for the long year, so everything's fine.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Sammy Sosa. 1 strike and nothing. Boo, look out. High and inside.
It's a nice way to pitch, especially to a power hitter. You throw the curveball over the outside corner, you get him looking outside, then you move him back off the plate. Inside, outside is the way most guys try to work Sammy, who is enormously strong.
Bouncing ball, that ought to be easy. Cedeno over the first, 1 away. Rick Sutcliffe, the former great pitching star of the Cubs. Tony Colosimo, who replaced Jake Finley as the manager in charge of sports sales for WGN TV, out in the right field bleachers. 1 out. Here's Gonzalez.
If you're trying to defend Louis, you defend him right up the middle, and if you're Ricky Henderson, you worry about Gonzalez going to left or left center.
There's a curveball in there, a strike call. Boy, oh boy.
There's a look at Ricky, one of the better left fielders around.
Swan fouled it back. I'm looking down and I see Ashby throwing bullets. Osmus giving him signals behind the plate. And both these guys were acquired in a trade. One of them thought so little of Ashby, they named him later, like a throw-in.
Well, Harry, it turned out to be one of the great trades that Randy Smith made. He was then the general manager, and he went to the Rockies. And he got them, along with Doug Bockler, who was also on this team, for Greg Harris and Bruce Hurst, both of them long gone from Colorado. Turned out to be a great trade for the Padres.
So there's 2 on. Here's Service, who hit .286 with 12 homers for the Cubs a year ago after hitting only .225 with 1 homer for Houston the first part of the year.
That'll be the key for Ashby. If he continues to get the first ball breaking ball over the plate, he's going to be mighty tough to hit. And it was about 1.5 to 2 years ago when Ashby finally harnessed his control. He always had a great arm.
High pop foul into the stands. Capacity crowd on hand. A lot of Cub blue in evidence. that looks like Arnie Jr. One of Arnie's special hat shots. There's a high fly ball, easy out. Coming in is Finley. And that retires the side again. 1, 2, 3. And at the end of 2, San Diego's still leading 1-0.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, share their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, weekdays at noon on Marquee Sports Network.
Cadillac invites you to move up in the world at the Cadillac Move Up sales event. Move up to available Wi-Fi hotspot capability. Move up to cutting-edge design. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. Make your way to your nearest Cadillac showroom today. During the Move Up sales event, get this low-mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT5 for around $419 per month.
Are you in a job you can't stand and are working too many hours for too little money? Do you want a rewarding career with great growth potential? By attending My Computer Career, in as little as 4 months, you could be starting your new career in the growing IT field. Classes meet on campus or live online just twice a week. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and fill out the free career evaluation right now. You don't need to be a math or computer whiz at mycomputercareer.edu, and no experience necessary at mycomputercareer.edu.
Cubs Cactus League Baseball, tomorrow at 3 on Marquee Sports Network.
I'm Wilson Contreras.
I'm Kyle Schwarber.
I'm Albert Almora Jr.
Catch all the Cubs games on Marquee Sports Network.
You're watching Marquee Sports Network. Thank you to our launch partners. Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Wintrust, proud legacy partner of the Chicago Cubs and exclusive home of Cubs checking. Open online today at wintrust.com/Cubs.
It's about winning championships. It's about holding yourself accountable to the things that you've found in winning. You know, I've been a part of winning almost my entire life, and I know what that looks like. And those are the expectations that I'm going to hold those guys accountable to.
Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrabee as we go into the top of the third with Alan Ashby, who started the game pitching 2 perfect innings. There's Ben Stein, and with his daughter Carol there. Ben's been convalescing for a while. Glad to see him at the ballpark. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bouncing ball, Sandberg throws him out. 1 away.
Rhino gets a good hand on his first chance. And a big crowd here today, a sellout crowd featuring, among others, Bill McSkimming of Riverfront Chrysler Plymouth and Ira Rosenberg of Crystal Lake Chrysler Plymouth.
Hey, is our man Abraham down in the Ben's seats down there? Nah. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Ricky Henderson, was called out on strikes. His first time up. Pitch is high. You know, Ricky Henderson, there's a fly ball. Going out is Sanchez. Looked for a moment like I had a chance to drop. I was going to tell you that Henderson is tied with Pop Anson for runs scored. 1,719 runs scored. That's tied for 18th place among all-time Major League ball players.
I like Henderson's chances of catching him.
1 strike and nothing, 2 out, nobody on.
You always have to watch the bunt with Finley. He's very good at it.
Strike called. And he's ahead of him 0-2. The only run scored when Joyner hit a soft single to right. Advance on Osmond's ground ball to Grace, which moved him to third after he'd advanced to second on a wild pitch. And he scored from third on the second wild pitch of the inning.
There's a look at
Navarro.
Bruce Bochy, whose contract was extended with an option through 1997.
Here's the Aflac trivia question. Which Cubs starter had the longest outing in his first appearance last season? My guess would be Foster.
And I'll go with Castillo.
2 out, nobody on. Hey, fouled it back. Had a good cut at that. Tony Gwynn waiting on deck. He doubled to left his first time up. Boy, what a hitter. He was drafted by San Diego in the 3rd round back in '81. Swings and he strikes him out. Finley goes down swinging. 1, 2, 3. We're going to bottom of the 3rd, 1-0, Padres.
Do you have concerns about mild memory loss related to aging? Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Sir, you cannot park there.
What? Why?
It's reserved for Chris Paul.
Barb, tell me what you not see.
My name's not Barb. You're not Chris Paul.
Stop it, Nancy. Woo!
That's not my name.
See some ID?
This is my ID. Need a tow truck on level 1? Oh, it's Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. There's no replacing the real Chris Paul, just like there's no replacing State Farm.
Molly, who took my spot?
Oh, just some guy. We're taking care of it.
Okay. You want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
I'm Jason Hayward.
I'm Chris Bryant.
I'm Javi Baez.
And you're watching Marquee Sports Network.
A typical day at Wrigley Field.
As Chicago natives would say, it was a beautiful early May day.
A flame-throwing Cubs rookie.
We have a treat for you today. A youngster from Texas will take the mound.
A game that made history.
This is what everybody comes for, to hopefully come to that special game.
Here comes the hook.
Kerrywood 20, Thursday at 11 on Marquee Sports Network.
I don't care if I never get back for a treat. Root, root for the Cubbies. It's for there's 1, 2, 3 strikes.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field as we go in the bottom of the third with Jose Hernandez, who hit .245 last year, had a good spring this year, 13 homers, 40 RBIs a year ago. I want to send good wishes for a happy recovery to my old friend Frank Versalati in Joliet. That's where I broke in the radio. And Frank Versalati was an outstanding basketball player on the Joliet Junior College basketball team. Give well wishes to John Mascari, who's a father-in-law of P.J. McCarthy, vice president of Pepsi-Cola. And also greetings to Bob Walter of Des Plaines, former classmate of the great Phil Cavaretta. Swung and a miss. And birthday greetings to Helen Lowry from Nevada. Speaking of Nevada, my good friend Bill Sullivan probably watching the game in Las Vegas. 2-2. Inside, ball 3. And also our good friend Phil Diaguati. Great baseball fans, originally out of Chicago. Looper in this right field base hit. Hernandez singles to right.
Well, there was a great battle. Who's going to start at third base? And Hernandez got the nod over Leo Gomez. And he delivers an inside-out swing on a high fastball. And that's the first Cub hit of 1996. Watch it again as Hernandez, with that inside-out swing, dumps it in front of Tony Gwynn. And a good start to the third inning. The Cubs enter down 1-0. From the Southwest Plainview camera, we'll take a look at Hernandez on the initial hit of this 1996 campaign.
Here's Ryne Sanchez taking a breaking ball for a strike call. Greetings to Marianne Cornelius of Antigo, Wisconsin.
Caminiti thinking that Sanchez is going to bunt in very close to third.
The Cardinals walloping the Mets. There goes a runner. Here's a bag, and it's a stolen base. He had a good jump, and Osmus did not make a good throw. It was over to the shortstop side of second base. Jody Reed had to go over beyond the bag.
Well, you don't expect Hernandez to do much running, but this serves notice that Jim Riggleman's going to be a lot more aggressive this year.
Good lead by Hernandez. A high pop foul, going to be out of play. Hey, our governor is here.
Hello, Harry.
I know you're a Cub fan.
Yeah.
We need a good Cub year.
Well, I think you're off to a good start. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it certainly is that.
If the wind had been blowing out instead of in, we'd have had a little more scoring.
Sandberg certainly would have had a home run.
It's been a great way to start it, but it's going to be a good year.
Do I ask you about politics, or do we
No, let's talk about baseball. That's safer.
What's going on? A lot of tough decisions as usual, huh?
Yeah, last year we were here. We had Bob Dole with me, but this year he just got stuck with me.
Well, you know, there's a drive way back, left center field, way back, gonna be caught. The wind holds the ball up. But here comes Hernandez, tagging up and advancing to third. And so, boy, the wind has worked against the Cubs twice.
We need a change in the wind.
Good piece of base running by Jose Hernandez. When he realizes that Finley is going to make the catch, he tags up at second base, heads on to third. Good play by Finley and good base running by Hernandez.
Well, Governor, Boy, you must have a lot of longies on.
I have my long underwear on. I've learned. I've been to enough Cub openers. You dress for a football game.
Yeah. How's that lovely wife of yours?
She's fine. She's here watching the game too.
Give her my best.
I will. I will.
Good seeing you, sir.
Good to see you again, Harry, and good luck. We'll look forward to seeing you in the playoffs.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. All right, one out. The infield is in. The tying run at third. And Navarro is the hitter. Does Andy... The squeeze is on, and
Navarro missed it.
Navarro missed the sign because he was swinging, and Hernandez is probably thanking the good Lord above that he didn't get hurt.
Well, the most surprised man in the ballpark, Jose Hernandez, as he's coming down the line, Jamie Navarro swinging away. And when you're hung out to drive by that much, you just hope that the ball is fouled or missed.
Cardinals leading in New York 6-0. Tony La Russa making his debut as manager of the Cardinals. Swings, fouls it off. Navarro not a bad hitter for a pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner at third. Padres leading 1-0. Bouncing foul.
Well, if you're on the mound now, you've got to trust your catcher, because a good pitch here is a breaking ball in the dirt. But you have to have a lot of confidence if you're Andy Ashby and Brad Ausmus. You figure that Navarro has to be anxious. You're ahead 1-2. Let's see what Ausmus calls as he's looking in the dugout to see what Bruce Bochy might want.
Oh, for a little looper somewhere. The infield is in, you know. Struck him out on a terrible pitch. And a nice save by Brad Ausmus, who went to his knees to keep the ball from getting away. And now here is Brian McRae.
Well, there's the hard breaking ball you're looking for with 2 strikes and the pitcher up. And Ausmus went down, made a nice play to make sure that Hernandez stays at third.
Look where Ken Caminiti plays McRae, even though there's 2 out. Shallow. In the event of a bunt. Pitch a little bit low. Now McRae doesn't hit the ball down the third baseline often. Strike call, and the count is evened up. There's Gary Barnett, the great coach of Northwestern. What a year the Wildcats had, and what a sensational job he did. Strike 2 called, and Ashby throwing hard. Here's the answer to the Aflac question. Jamie Navarro, 7 innings against Montreal.
Well, we started the same way we ended last year, Harry, both wrong.
There'll be a lot of those. I mean, us being wrong. Yes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1-0, Padres. McRae on a 2-2 count. Tying run at third. Did he hold up? Yeah, no, he went around to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Wayne Larrabee will be coming along in a moment. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field, where at the end of 3, the Padres won, the Cubs nothing.
When you run a business in Chicago, you have to be ready to put in the hours, put in the work, brave the elements. Running a business here comes with ups and downs. The downs make you tougher, the ups keep you pushing. At Wintrust, we know what that's like because we started here too, with 1 small location and have found a way forward. No one knows how to support a Chicago business like another. From us to you, keep going. We've got your back.
Are you in a job you can't stand? Do you want a rewarding career with great growth potential?
What a career in IT means to me is unlimited options. Before my computer career, I was struggling to make ends meet.
You don't have to have any form of IT experience when you walk into this campus.
They guide you every step of the way to help you find your dream job.
I want this, and I can do this.
Train for a better life at mycomputercareer.edu. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and fill out the free career evaluation right now.
Tomorrow, millions of Americans will go to work, and our children will go to school. Some will travel to visit loved ones, and others will simply come home. America will move tomorrow because of the oil and gas we produce today. Dakota Access Pipeline is proud to stand alongside the more than 14,000 oil and gas workers right here in Illinois who work in the oil and gas fields, along the pipelines, and in the refineries to provide the energy that makes our economy strong and our communities stronger.
I don't care if I never get back for a treat. Root for the Padres. It's for his 1, 2, 3 strikes.
How much dogs do you have?
I got 7 dogs.
Welcome to Bay versus Ball Player.
Cubs win on a grand slam by Hayward.
You need something you can run to that makes you happy.
I think everybody hopes to play forever.
We're mic'd up. I tried to play Fortnite. I downloaded it. No chance.
No. Catch the best Cub moments every month with the Best of Cubs YouTube on Marquee Sports Network.
Well, the bleachers are filled on opening day here at Wrigley Field. 2 pitchers in command, Jamie Navarro and Andy Ashby, and Ashby has been outstanding in these first 3 innings.
And the only thing separating these 2 clubs, a couple of wild pitches by Jamie Navarro. Outside of that, you're right, Wayne. The pitchers far ahead of the hitters on very much a pitcher's day today.
Yeah, not surprised. The wind is blowing in at cold temperatures. Tony Gwynn leading off here in the top of the 4th inning, and Jamie Navarro, first pitch strike.
I know you're surprised that Tony Gwynn started out with a double. He's only in pursuit of his 7th batting title. He figures to be a tough out every time up.
No question about it. San Diego much improved. The Cubs looking to pick up on last season's late season rush toward the playoffs.
Counted 1-1 as Jamie Navarro taking a little time as a beach ball has gotten away in the right field corner.
Jamie throwing hard today. And he's ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jamie throwing awfully hard, and trying to strike out Tony Gwynn is a good trick. He fanned just 15 times last year in 535 at-bats. Perennially one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult man to strike out in the major leagues.
Jamie surrendered a run on a couple of hits here in the first 3 innings of the game. We're in the top of the 4th. A little bit high, to say the least. 2-2.
Very rarely will you see Tony Gwynn ever swing at anything out of the strike zone. And if he does, it's usually low, but he usually makes some contact.
The 2-2 pitch, and he jammed him, bloops it into left field. Gonzalez is there, and he makes the catch. 1 out to start the inning.
The biggest improvement on wins last year, and the Cubs are at least on the leaderboard. You see it right there. Cleveland, Boston, California, Seattle. And the first National League team you see, the Cubs, along with the Padres. Cubs improved 24 wins over the year before, the Padres 23.
Ken Caminiti, the hitter, takes pitch outside.
Wayne, you've got to love what this San Diego team did with the addition of Ricky Henderson and Wally Joyner. They really helped themselves defensively as well as with the bats.
You know, you guys showed the graphic earlier at the top of the show of the defense of San Diego and all the gold gloves in that defense. Now, this is a much improved defensive team from the team we saw just 2 years ago on the field for San Diego. That trade with Houston really helped solidify this club. And as Harry mentioned a couple of times in the first 3 innings of the game, the Ashby trade, he was a throw-in with that deal with Colorado involving Bruce Hurst a couple of seasons ago, and that has made a difference today. Starting battery netted from that trade. There's a drive into center field. McRae on his horse and makes the grab.
Ryan McRae played outstanding center field all year long last year, and this play no exception. Just a fine effort by McRae. Gets a great jump on this line drive. This ball is scalded. McRae able to pull it down. That would have been 3 bases for sure. Nobody would have been able to get to the ball. McRae would have been sprawled out, and that one would have rattled around for quite some time.
Wally Joyner is the difference in this game. Singled on a soft liner to right field and advanced on a couple of wild pitches, scoring the first run of the game. 1 ball, no strikes. And that's on the inside corner for strike 1 call.
Joyner had a quality year last year, hitting .310 for Kansas City. He hit just 12 home runs, but he drove in 83.
Navarro gets the outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind blowing in. It is a cold day on the lakefront, but sunny. It's a whole lot better than we thought it would be yesterday. Pitch misses outside. It's 2-2. There's Fergie Jenkins.
Fergie had his pitching staff much improved last year.
Billy Williams, the hitting coach, has seen a few Cubs openers, along with our producer director Arnie Harris. Joyner's worked the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Never hurts to have a few Hall of Famers in that dugout. Fergie Jenkins and Billy Williams among them.
The payoff, and that misses low, and Wally Joyner on for the 2nd time this afternoon. The hitter is Brad Osmus, the catcher, grounded out to first. His initial trip to the plate. Joyner gets a lead off first base, and the pitch is up high. Unlike Ashby, Steve, Jamie's been behind in the count more often than not. Fewer first ball strikes from Navarro than we've seen from Ashby.
And normally Jamie has just outstanding control.
1 ball, 1 strike the count on Osmus. Brooks Kieschnick. Tell you what, you may see him for a couple of weeks here, and he might be back down in Iowa by the end of the month, but you're going to see a lot of this guy in a Cubs uniform in the future. Held up pretty well, I thought, this spring. Hit about 277, couple of homers. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And this one out of play, and it's 1-2.
Brooks told me on a scale of 1 to 10 and how he's feeling right now would be an 11.
Yes.
He said he's just happy to be here. He didn't believe he had any chance to make the ball club out of spring training. But the injury to Magadan really changed things around as far as the Cubs were concerned, and Kieschnick getting an early look from the Cubs.
Well, what helps him is that he swings from the left side, and the Cubs need another left-handed bat on the roster. 1-2 pitch, and again the count remains 1-2 as Osmus late on getting around against Jamie Navarro. This a typical scene. Kevin Foster flipping a baseball in the dugout between starts. I'll tell you what, Stoney, the way the Cubs can improve this year, just with the people they have now, are taking more walks, number 1 offensively, count 2-2 now, and getting improvement out of A, Steve Traxel, B, Kevin Foster, and C, Jim Bullinger having a consistent season, much like he did the first half of last year. That's the way this ball club can improve. And, you know, also situation hitting, moving runners along, that type of thing. 2-2 pitch. On the outside corner, called strike 3. No runs, no hits. No errors, and a man left. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Padres still lead 1-0.
This is the Frells family's land. When the first snow fell, the kids went sledding right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more. Get a 1 Series tractor starting at $99 per month.
Cadillac invites you to move up in the world at the Cadillac Move Up sales event. Move up to available Wi-Fi hotspot capability. Move up to cutting-edge design. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. Make your way to your nearest Cadillac showroom today. During the Move Up sales event, get this low mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT5 for around $419 per month.
52 years after the Special Olympics movement began at Soldier Field in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs are proud to continue the city's legacy with the organization by teaming up with Special Olympics Arizona and Illinois and our sponsor Sloan to host the second annual Chicago Baseball Night. Join your Chicago Cubs for a St. Patrick's Day themed celebration hosted by comedian Mark Cordes with special guests David Ross, Kyle Schwarber, Joe Mantegna, and many more. All proceeds will benefit amazing Special Olympics athletes. For more information, go to chicagobaseballnight.org.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle. That works? Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
And we've upgraded her with the sonic shield and holographic mapping drones.
Impressive.
There is one more thing.
Ah, Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. With the Drive Safe and Save app, you'll also get rewarded for being a safe driver.
Now that is an upgrade.
Well played, Jake from State Farm. As usual.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, Rhino, indeed. Opening day 1996 at Wrigley Field in Chicago, along with our producer-director, Harry Carey, our erstwhile Hall of Famer, Steve Stone, our Cy Young Award winner, Wayne Larrabee, and, of course, our producer-director, Arnie Harris. Good to have you with us. A sunshiny but chilly day at Wrigley Field. Andy Ashby loosening up. He faces Ryne Sandberg, Mark Grace, and Sammy Sosa.
I talked with Bruce Bochy before the game on just exactly what he wants out of Ashby today, and he said his longest stint in spring training was 100 pitches. He feels today, with all the adrenaline and everything he's got going for him, he could probably go 110, 115 pitches. That could get him at least through 7, maybe longer if the Cubs aren't a little more patient. But Ashby, as you mentioned, Wayne, is throwing a lot of strike ones, especially with the breaking ball early in the count.
8 first pitch strikes in the first 3 innings for Ashby, and Sandberg flew out deep to left center his first trip to the plate. That's ball 1 inside. Take a look at this in season openers. A long history here. On the outside corner, count is 1-1.
Well, Sandberg wants to hit something middle of the plate in, and he got it the first time up and just got under it, and the wind kept it in the ballpark.
Yeah, he hit a 2-1 pitch that time. On the ground, left side. That's Ken Caminiti, the Gold Glove at third. 1 out.
Caminiti had a terrible early season defensively last year. He made 21 errors by the All-Star break, and here's a man who is regarded as good a fielder as there is in the game. He says he's just ecstatic to get out of Arizona and back on some fields that aren't rock hard and lightning fast.
The hitter, Mark Grace, called out on strikes his first trip to the plate. Fell behind with the count 0-2 before working at 2-2, and he lines a shot to right field. Tony Gwynn makes the move on it to his left and hauls it in. So Grace, first pitch, 2 out.
A lot of people almost conceding the title in the West to the Dodgers, but the Padres not among them. They feel that if they can get some consistent starting pitching, they feel they have a strong enough bullpen, a wonderful bench, and a good enough offense to be able to contend. And there you look at Andy Ashby, the wonderful year he had in '95, his ERA below 3, the 12 wins, and 3rd in the National League in the ERA title race.
Sammy Sosa down to the count, no balls and 1 strike. Grounded out short to first, his first trip. If they had not realigned the league last year, this is how it would have looked. How about that? The Cubs would have won a division. Atlanta had been over in the West. 1 ball, 1 strike. Padres, Stoney, would figure to be a tired team. They played last Thursday in Peoria, Arizona. San Diego Friday. Las Vegas on Saturday. They played Memphis, Tennessee yesterday. And today, Chicago.
Well, if anything can pick you up, it's the adrenaline of opening day. So although they'll probably be a little road weary today, it's not going to affect them.
Here's the 2-1. Sammy even in the count of 2-2.
Now let's see if Ashby goes with a good hard slider here away from Sosa. Osmus has called a very good game behind the plate. You see very rarely will Ashby shake him off, and Ashby does have a good hard slider today. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, his slider being a little bit better than the curveball, but his best pitch, a good solid fastball in the low 90s.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, bases empty. Back toward the box. Barehanded by Ashby. And a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across. We're heading to the 5th. Still, the Padres won and the Cubs nothing.
This new Samsung Galaxy on Verizon's 5G network is a big upgrade.
This is Ultra, the new Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G powered by Verizon 5G Ultra Wideband.
5G Ultra Wideband is so much faster than even my home internet.
With ultra-fast speeds.
In the gaming world, if you lag, you're done. With Verizon 5G Ultra Wideband, I don't worry about lag.
Now, buy one of our newest Samsung Galaxy 5G phones and get an S20 Plus on us.
You can download a movie that normally takes 20 minutes in like 20 seconds.
There's 5G, then there's Verizon 5G.
Join Marquee Sports Network for Cubs 360.
All right, let's enjoy ourselves. They're a very talented team, the Chicago Cubs, in a very talented division.
Once you start eliminating hit and runs, bunts, all these other ways to create action, you're just sitting back for basically the 3-run home run.
That's what accountability is that knowing you're giving everything you have that day to win, because so am I.
I think the Cubs can win this division. I don't see why not. I really don't.
Cubs 360, Tuesday at 10 on Marquee Sports Network. Marquee Sports Network is the new TV home of the Cubs. We would like to say a special thank you to our launch partners. Brought to you by Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
I'm Kyle Hendricks.
I'm Anthony Rizzo.
I'm Craig Kimbrell.
You're watching Marquee Sports Network.
Wayne Larrabee, Steve Stone, Harry Carey at Wrigley Field opening day here in Chicago. Andujar Cedeno, Jody Reed, Andy Ashby, the lower third of the Padre order. to face Jamie Navarro. 1 ball, no strikes on Cedeno, who grounded out his first trip. Takes it inside and tight. Did he go around on it? Nope. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, you know, when it's the wind's blowing in, you wear what you have to wear. You dress for football. Or maybe Valley Forge in January. 2-0 pitch lined into left center field. That's a base hit.
And that's exactly what you were saying, Wayne, about Navarro falling behind early in the count. That almost forces you to throw a 2-0 fastball. And Cedeno, who had an abysmal year last year, took advantage of a 2-0 fastball and drove it into left center field.
Here's last year's starters in double figures with victories and a combined 4.35 ERA. Now, the last time that was done for the Cubs back in 1975, and there's old Steve Stone there with 12 wins.
Those were, of course, that was the dead ball era, though, Wayne. Yes. The ball just didn't travel that much.
Jody Reed looks at ball 1. Down low.
Reed, a good contact hitter. You might think about the hit and run in this situation, even with Ashby due up next.
You know, I'll tell you something. You look at this lineup, and I was talking to Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Padres, before the game today. They've got a lot of good contact hitters in this lineup. They don't have a tremendous amount of power, as you mentioned earlier, Stone, even though they hit some home runs down at spring training. Runner going. Swing and a miss, and the throw down to second base on the wrong side of the bag. Sanchez unable to apply the tag in time. Cedeno in with a stolen base.
And there's the hit and run situation. Only Reed made no contact, but they do steal the bag as the throw off target. You see Sanchez making a fine effort at second base. And the tip off to the hit and run is you see Cedeno looking back to see if there's contact. He beats the play. And Sanchez scooping the ball out of the dirt, trying for the quick tag at second. Gary Darling on the call, and you can see he did beat the play.
Count of 1 ball and 1 strike now on Jody Reed. Chopped it on the ground to the right side. This moves the runner to third. Sandberg to Grace in time to retire Reed with Cedeno moving on to third.
We've seen the Padres do that a couple of times. Osmus did it in the 2nd inning, and now Reed does it here in the 5th. That's good, solid baseball. Having to make contact, hitting the ball to the right side when you have the opportunity. And now it forces the infield in at all 4 positions. The Cubs missed the sign on a suicide. Let's see what Bruce Bochy has in mind with Ashby up, who's a fairly decent hitter.
Ashby, second in the majors with 17 sacrifice bunts last year. So the infield beware, and it's in. Cedeno off third, and the first pitch misses away. 1 ball, no strikes to Ashby.
And every run today, a big run with the cold temperatures and the wind blowing in, although the wind has died down somewhat.
Cedeno, the lead off at third. And the pitch. Ashby not offering, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Ashby at 6'5", a big target. But the low strike, at least for the moment, not being called by Jim Quick, as Navarro has fallen behind 2-0, and Ricky Henderson in the on-deck circle.
Been a lot of discussion about the strike zone in spring training as to whether they would call that strike just below the knees. 2-0 delivery, runner going, the bunt out in front of the plate, and it's a good one. They score the run. Navarro's only play is to Grace. Cedeno scores, and the Padres lead it by the score of 2-0.
Well, this time the suicide has worked to perfection, and the Padres have executed flawlessly. Good timing on the part of Cedeno, and there's no chance for Navarro. He picks it up. Cedeno already a step away, only play to first base, and we'll watch it again. Timing is everything on this play. Then it comes down to execution on the part of the man bunting, and they execute perfectly.
And you see Scott Service directing his pitcher, go to first. We don't have a chance here at the plate. Top of the order, Ricky Henderson. That's a strike call. Henderson 0 for 2, struck out in the first. He popped out to shortstop. Shallow left field in the third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steve, in the cold weather like this, if you're a couple of power pitchers like Navarro and Ashby, is this good weather? I mean, do these guys like throwing in this kind of weather as opposed to heat? Broken back grounder to the third baseman. Hernandez to Grace, and the inning is over. Get back to that point when we resume. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Padres score a run on a hit. They leave the bases clean. Middle of the 5th, Gonzalez service and Henderson ahead. Gonzalez 0 for 1. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. 1 hit for the Cubs is all she's written so far. That just missed inside. It is a beautiful, crisp, cool day in the spring outside the friendly confines. Into right center field, and Finley shades his eyes, makes the catch, 1 man down. The hitter, Scott Service, tried to check his swing and went around, and it's strike 1.
Service showed last year that he can drive the ball to right center field. That had been a problem in years past. He would hit the ball middle in, but when the pitchers would stay away, he'd have some problems. Let's see if he continues that trend this year if Ashby does stay away.
Takes it a little bit high. Hey, how about that? That's a nice vantage point there across the street. Ladies, don't lean too far forward. It's a big drop to the bottom, isn't it? 1-1 pitch. That's lined towards center field. Finley right there makes the catch. So 2 outs to the center fielder, Steve Finley, and it brings up Jose Hernandez. I know it's cold, but that's a bit much, isn't it, Santa Claus, at this time of year? I suppose it could always snow here in Chicago right up through June, can it?
It's very possible, though.
Got that lake effect.
It's supposed to warm up tomorrow.
Yes. We're off tomorrow.
Yes.
You're hoping it will warm up tomorrow, in other words. 1 ball, no strikes the count on Jose Hernandez. Hernandez singled as the only hit of the game for the Cubs, a single to right field. And 2 balls, no strikes. Earmuffs in vogue here at Wrigley Field, along with a Dennis Rodman look in the sunglasses. Kind of like that. And it's the first time that Ashby has fallen behind a hitter. 3 balls and no strikes. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th. 2-0. Padres on top. It's on the outside corner. Strike 1 call.
Well, you figure to get a fastball here, and Hernandez, who has very good power, will be trying to take advantage of.
The 3-1. Fouled it back against the screen, and the count fills to 3-2. You know, the thing about Ashby is in his career, 2 general managers, Steve, known for their ability to evaluate talent, have given up on him. Lee Thomas in Philadelphia, where Ashby was first in his career, and then Bob Gephardt in Colorado made the trade with San Diego that we talked about earlier.
I think Lee Thomas would love to have him back with the pitching problems that they've experienced in Philadelphia.
A dearth of pitching in Philadelphia. 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4. The first walk of the ball game issued by Ashby. So Hernandez aboard for the 2nd time this afternoon with 2 outs, and Ryne Sanchez, who flied out to center field, a hard drive to center. In the 3rd, steps to the plate. We're in the bottom of the 5th at Wrigley Field on opening day. A little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, there it is, Steve. You and Harry ought to get along on one of those, huh? Instead of the limo? What do you say?
Well, when Arnie re-upped, he asked for a limo, and there it is.
This is what he got.
It's the Harris limo.
Oh, my goodness. I've heard of the flying Elvises, but how about the flying Colonels? Colonel Sanders. I wonder if they brought any chicken with them. A toss over to first base to chase Hernandez back to the bag. Ashby admitted earlier in his career that he used to try to do too much with his stuff, and he's always had great stuff.
I think
it's in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
What he tried to do, Wayne, was throw the ball through the catcher. He had such a great arm that he tried to overthrow everything. Consequently, he fell behind, and he just couldn't find the strike zone. But last year, he found the strike zone consistently, and it translated into the 3rd best ERA in the National League.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hernandez, good lead off first, and the pitch is rocketed deep to left field. Henderson back to the warning track, to the wall. It's gone! Two-run homer, Ryne Sanchez. And the game is tied at 2.
Well, that one is pretty hard to believe if you're Ryne Sanchez, who muscled up for a grand total of 3 all of last year. Takes it back just far enough to hit it out of the ballpark and tie the game at 2.
Swing and a miss by Jamie Navarro. Big welcome for a little Ryne Sanchez in the dugout. How about that? And he battled the wind with that shot. No balls and 2 strikes to count on Navarro. There is Ryne Sanchez. How about that? Northeast wind not going to knock down my shot.
He's giving you a Sammy. He's going to have a lot fewer opportunities to do what Sammy does, but he's got to enjoy this opportunity when he's had it. That's the 5th major league home run for Ryne Sanchez, and it couldn't have come at a better time as far as the Cubs were concerned.
Navarro, it's a fly ball into shallow center field. Finley coming on, makes the catch. A 2-out, 2-run homer by Ryne Sanchez has tied the game as we head to the 6th. 2-2.
You're watching Cubs Classics, April 1st, 1996. A classic Cubs game from opening day, and we're going to jump ahead in the game after this quick break.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, share their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, weekdays at noon on Marquee Sports Network.
Cadillac invites you to move up in the world at the Cadillac Move Up sales event. Move up to available Wi-Fi hotspot capability. Move up to cutting-edge design. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. Make your way to your nearest Cadillac showroom today. During the Move Up sales event, get this low mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT5 for around $419 per month.
Sir, you cannot park there.
What? Why?
It's reserved for Chris Paul.
Barb, tell me what you not see.
My name's not Barb. You're not Chris Paul.
Stop it, Nancy. Woo!
That's not my name.
Can I see some ID?
This is my ID. Need a tow truck on level 1. Oh, it's Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. There's no replacing the real Chris Paul, just like there's no replacing State Farm.
Molly, who took my spot?
Oh, just some guy. We're taking care of it.
Okay.
You want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle. That works? Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
I need new struts for my 2010 Chevy. Let me see struts by AC Delco, KYB, and any under $50.
We might be able to get some struts from the warehouse.
Why watch the counterman tap on his computer and hope he chooses the right part? Go to rockauto.com. Auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. Choose the brands, prices, and features you want. Auto parts at the lowest price. Conveniently delivered to your home or business.
All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
2-2 tie in the bottom of the 6th. Brian McRae, top of the order, leads it off for the Cubs. Takes ball 1 from Andy Ashby. McRae 0 for 2, grounded out on the first pitch in the first inning. Struck out swinging in the third. Hits a ground ball to the right side. Diving stab by Joyner. Throws to Ashby, covering in time to retire McRae.
The Padres know that they're going to be much better defensively with Wally Joyner at first base. They already call him the best defensive first baseman they've ever had. And there's just an illustration of it. He got up quickly. Through to Ashby. Good timing and a fine effort by Joyner. Here's the tail end of the play, and the throw leads Ashby by a step. He touches the inside of the bag with his right foot, and that's what you want to do.
Ryne Sandberg 0 for 2. Flying out deep to left in the first. Grounded out in the fourth. Fastball strike. Rhino had a good spring. 386 on base percentage, 310 average. The 0-1 delivery, and that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hey, later this week on WGN, Michael Jordan and the Bulls continue their quest towards the greatest season ever in the NBA. Don't miss the Bulls and Heat. United Center, Thursday night, 7 o'clock. WGN, Channel 9. Back to the box. Ashby gloves it to Joyner. And there are 2 men down. That brings up Mark Grace. Grace is 0 for 2. He hit the ball hard his last trip to the plate. Line drive to right field in the fourth. There's a look at the mark for the Cubs on Wrigley Field home openers. And right now they've drawn even with these San Diego Padres. Grace a little bit late getting around on that one. No balls and 1 strike.
Last year the Cubs split the season series here at Wrigley Field 3-3, but lost the overall season series to the Padres 7-5.
Padres were a surprising 3rd in the National League in hitting last year, 272. Grace on the ground to Jody Reed, and a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Ashby. Nothing across for the Cubs. We've completed 6 at Wrigley Field. Harry will take you the rest of the way. The Cubs and Padres tied at 2.
You're watching Cubs Classics, April 1st, 1996. A classic Cubs game from opening day, and we're going to jump ahead in the action.
Here's a line drive, base hit. And Sosa gets his first hit of the season. A single to right. And here's Luis Gonzalez. There's a Sammy Sosa fan. They got their own club out there. You've seen some of the signs they've held up. All right, just a big run to pick up. Luis Gonzalez 0 for 2. You know, Jamie Navarro, just to show you what a crazy game this has been, all last year made 1 wild pitch. Today he made 2 wild pitches in 1 inning, which accounted for their first run. And Sanchez, not known for his home run power. Line drive, gonna be caught. Nice play. Boy, Finley got a great jump on that ball. It was well hit, but out.
Louis has a lot of power to left center field, and Steve Finley off with the crack of the bat runs this one down. Sammy Sosa all the way at second base has to tag second base and go all the way back to first. So with 1 out in the inning, not a bad time to send Sosa, who is probably the premier base stealer on this team. And the bullpen now up and going for the Padres as Ashby is knocking at the door at the 100 pitch mark. And there's Jamie Navarro, who's been brilliant here today, giving up just 3 hits and 2 runs through 7.
Sammy Sosa almost started too soon. Sosa's stolen 34 bases last year.
And there is Sammy having to tag second base and retreat to first after the fine catch by Finley.
Well, my grandson, Brendan Newell. Oh, boy. How are you? There you are, Brendan. There you are. Service swings. 2-2 tie, bottom of the seventh.
Ashby wants to make it as hard as he can on Sosa, trying to steal second if he does indeed go. He's using a slide step, and there's Willie Blair throwing in the pen. No activity in the Cub bullpen to this point.
Service takes the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Game tied. 2-2, 1 on. Every carry back to the ballpark. Boy, I must really broadcast a funny way. My 20-month-old grandson is laughing while I'm working. And my wife, his grandma, holding him. Dutchie. There's the pitch high. One of our good friends, Jack and Joan Barry, are watching the game down in Florida. Every time I look at him, he smiles. Service with 1 out. There's a drive, way back. It might be. It hit it. Holy cow! Service hit a home run into the left field bleachers with a man on. Look at the Cubs dugout. I can't let Brendan get away now. He brought us luck. 4-2 Cubs. Wow, was that ball hit.
Service gets a 2-0 fastball, inner part of the plate. You see Osmus wants it away, but Ashby misses with it up and out over the plate. And Service picking up where he left off last year, going way back. The Cubs up by 2, courtesy of the long ball. 2 2-run bombs.
Here now is Hernandez. He singled his first time, and then with 2 out in the 5th, he drew what turned out to be a very important base on ball.
Coming right at you from the left field camera, you'll take a look at a long home run hit into the wind by Scott Service, and there was no doubt about that. For Southwest Airlines, how far did it fly? 377 happy feet.
Hernandez held up. Oh, they say he went around appealing to the first base umpire, Dana DeMuth. After drawing a base on balls with 2 out in the 5th, there was Sanchez following him, who hit a home run in the same section of the bleachers that Service just hit one. So Hernandez goes down swinging. That's only the 4th strikeout for Alan Ashby. Two men out. The Cubs leading 4-2. 2 home run blasts. You know, Service last year hit only .225. There's a bunt that goes foul. And had only 1 home run and 12 RBIs with Houston. And he came over along with Louis Gonzalez to the Cubs in the trade for Rick Wilkins. For the Cubs, he had 12 homers, 35 RBIs, hitting .286. And today on the Cubs' 1996 home opener, he's hit a 2-run homer to put him ahead. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, if you are manager Jim Riggleman, the great game, line drive right at Andujar. Andujar Cedeno. So, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 7, the Cubs 4, the Padres 2.
much dogs do you have?
I got 7 dogs.
Welcome to Bay versus Ball Player.
Cubs win on a grand slam by Hayward.
You need something you can run to that makes you happy.
I think everybody hopes to play forever.
We're mic'd up. I tried to play Fortnite. I downloaded it. No chance.
Nah.
Catch the best Cub moments every month with the Best of Cubs YouTube on Marquee Sports Network.
This is the Frells family's land. When the first snow fell, the kids went sledding right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more. Get a 1 Series tractor starting at $99 per month.
America's oil and gas moves through 2.4 million miles of underground pipelines safely. But one of those pipelines were gone. We would need 90,000 more tanker trucks or 27,000 more rail cars every single day just to meet our energy needs. So, do you want this, or this? We move America's energy. We are Energy Transfer.
Get to know where to place your next bet on Follow the Money on Marquee Sports Network. Vegas veterans Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard host this hour-long show, share their knowledge of sports and gambling.
The Cubs always take money, so it doesn't matter. Everyone would come to town and bet the Cubs win the World Series, no matter who was on the team.
Get the most up-to-date information in live odds, predictions, and betting trends from the sports gambling capital of the world. Follow the Money, weekdays at noon on Marquee Sports Network.
Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Wayne Larrabee as we go in the top of the 8th. A sellout crowd of 38,734 paid here today. There's the 2 home run hitters today, Sanchez and Service, and they both hit it in the same section in left field. Maybe they picked the one spot the ball could be hit for a home run. The wind is more cross field. Here's Reed to lead it off. I started to ask you, Steve, with Navarro pitching so well, a lot of pressure on the manager, whether to go with them all the way or go to your bullpen.
Well, I think he figured that if he could get 100 to 110 pitches out of Jamie, that he would be very happy regardless of where that fell during the game. And now Fergie Jenkins wants to come out talk with Navarro. I think, Harry, he's right between that 100 and 110 pitch mark at this point. And I think there is cause for concern with Perez and Patterson loosening up in the bullpen. They want to find out just what Jamie has left. It looks like Chris Gwynn for the moment in the on-deck circle, the brother of Tony Gwynn, who made the ball club out of spring training. And there's Jim Riggleman. And you're right, there is a decision to be made at this point. Jamie's still popping the ball, but he's fallen behind 3-0. And you're trying to nurse along that 2-run lead.
A pinch hitter coming up next for Ashby. Right in there, a strike call.
Next telecast Wednesday afternoon when the Cubs and Padres will be right back at it here at Wrigley Field. Leadoff man at 1 o'clock. Game time 1:20.
Ball 4, and who do you think's coming up? Not Tony Gwynn, Chris Gwynn. Chris Gwynn, who is his brother, his younger brother. Ashby did a fine job while he was in there.
7 innings pitched for Andy Ashby. Gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, the 2 homers. He walked 1 and he fanned 5.
And now, Gwynn, a left-hand hitter, stepping up there. Like his brother, a left-hand hitter. Ooh, he took a good cut. Looking down at Tim Flannery coaching at third base. There's Flannery. Remember him in that 1984. He got an important hit in the final game of the playoffs in the 7th inning. Strike 2 call. Pulled a foul. 0-2 the count.
Good time for Navarro to go low and out of the strike zone here. He's well ahead of Gwynn. You've got to believe that after making the ball club in spring training, kind of a surprise for the Padres that Gwynn would be over anxious. Let's see if Jamie wastes one down.
Runner at first, nobody out. Yeah, almost got away from the surface. It looked like it might have hit the ground. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4-2 ball game in favor of the Cubs. Big sellout crowd, over 38,000 paid. Bouncing ball, and Grace is going to play it safe. Steps on the bag for the first out of the inning, and the reason he didn't throw in the angle that he fielded the ball in, the runner was right in the way. He could very easily might have hit him.
You also have a 2-run lead. It's a lot different if you're trying to nurse along a 1-run lead, but 2 runs up, you certainly want to take the out, stay out of the big inning, and not risk opening the floodgates.
And so here is Ricky Henderson. Worry here, folks. Gotta be careful. Long ball hitter. Wait a minute, time call. I wonder if the umpires know what happened too. I'm sure they must know it now. Boy, what a sad thing. A home run hitter. Ricky Henderson. Bouncing ball, big hop. Easy out to first base. And Henderson bounced out. And here's Finley, like Henderson. A dangerous man in this situation.
And if you're on the mound and you're Jamie Navarro, you want to end it right here. You don't want to get to Gwynn and Caminiti, the heart of the order as far as the Padres are concerned. You'd love to end it with Finley. And he wants to keep it alive. You still have to respect his bunting ability, but they're back at the corners with Hernandez and Grace. A few steps in back of the bag.
Strike over the inside corner. Hernandez playing wide of the bag. Grace covering the line at first base. Fouled it off. 0-2 the count. Ben Stein and his daughter Carol, along with people behind the San Diego dugout, and Ben Stein's regular season tickets. Good to see Ben out and around. 0-2 the count. Whoa, a wild pitch, and there's a second run. They've scored on a wild pitch, making the score now 4-3. Now, isn't that something? All of last year, Navarro made only one wild pitch. This year, he's already made 3 in one ball game, 2 in one inning for all 3 of their runs. Yeah, that hurt. 4-3 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That must indicate, though, that he has plenty of stuff on that slider. Bouncing, look at that. Next pitch. Sandberg throws out Finley to retire the side, but 1 run. No hits. Nobody left. We go in the bottom of the 8th, and the Cubs are leading 4-3.
Sir, you cannot park there.
What? Why?
It's reserved for Chris Paul.
Barb, tell me what you not see.
My name's not Barb. You're not Chris Paul.
Stop it, Nancy. Woo!
That's not my name.
Can I see some ID?
This is my ID. Need a tow truck on level 1? Oh, it's Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. There's no replacing the real Chris Paul, just like there's no replacing State Farm.
Molly, who took my spot?
Oh, just some guy. We're taking care of it.
Okay.
You want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cadillac invites you to move up in the world at the Cadillac Move Up sales event. Move up to available Wi-Fi hotspot capability. Move up to cutting-edge design. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. Make your way to your nearest Cadillac showroom today. During the Move Up sales event, get this low-mileage lease on this 2020 Cadillac XT5 for around $419 per month.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle. That works? Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
Jerry back at Wrigley Field. There's a good April Fool's sign. Cubs lose. April Fool. I hope it's April Fool. Cubs are leading at the moment 4-3. Scott Bullitt batting for Jamie Navarro, who pitched a sensational ball game. Willie Blair on the mound for the Padres. Willie Blair.
Blair 7-5 last year. Appeared in 40 games. I'd like to get Bullitt on to start the inning. The Cubs could certainly use some insurance runs. Nice effort by Navarro going 8 innings, giving up just 3 hits and 3 runs.
Bullitt takes a strike call. Boy, Navarro in 8 innings allowed only 3 hits, but made 3 wild pitches, which were prominent in 2 of the 3 runs that scored. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bullitt in a role he was used in a lot last year by Jimmy Riggleman. Ball 4 high, and now you got a lot of speed on the bases, and Bullitt, he can really fly.
The one time they tested Osmus, he did not make a good throw. That was a stolen base by Hernandez back in the 3rd inning. Now Caminiti will come in at 3rd looking for the bunt. And you figure a hit and run or the bunt right here would be a pretty good play. And if you do lay it down, you want to bunt it up the right side. Keep it away from Caminiti, who's got a great arm.
He was going to bunt, takes the strike call. Brian McRae, nothing out of 3. Tony Muser coaching at 3rd base, going through a series of signs. Dan Radisson at 1st base. 1 strike and nothing. Outside evens the count. Hey, the Dodgers got 4 in the 5th in Houston to take a 4-1 lead. How about those Mets? They've come back and now lead the Cardinals 7-6. The Cardinals got away to a 6-0 lead. Runner to first, Scott Bullitt. The throw, whoa, almost threw it away. Good play by Joyner. Joyner is reminiscent, as we talked about before, of Mark Grace. They're both the same type of hitters, same type of fielders. Great first baseman. Oh, time call. Time call. And McRae went ahead and bunted the ball foul, but there's Jim Riggleman. He's a little chilly. It's cold in the shade, all right in the sun. Quick throw. Oh, to pick up an insurance run or 2. Jim Bullinger, one of the Cubs starting pitchers. Oh, they might have a play. It's like, no. Caminiti started to throw to second, thought better of it. I think he made a good choice. So here's Sandberg now. So Bullitt's speed was important on that play. Probably anybody else other than Sosa would have been forced. Instead, Caminiti had to throw it to first base. So that leaves a man in scoring position. Here's Sandberg. A little bit low. Mark Grace is next. We're in the bottom of the 8th. A honey of a ball game. Look at the rooftop. They're sold out today, too. Don Nystrom has 100 Budweiser customers on the roof of Jim Murphy's saloon. Ball low in the dirt.
And this is where the man up at bat really looking for the fastball, especially with left-hand hitting Mark Grace on deck. Let's see if Rhino can get a fastball middle in and do something with it.
2 balls, no strikes. Sandberg playing his first game since May the 10th, 1994. Billy Williams mentioned during spring training how much more patient he thought these Cub players were this year, and is proving to be so. Ball 4. And Sandberg walked. Willie Blair pitching very carefully with a man in scoring position. Well, a walk preceded Sanchez's home run in the 5th that tied up the ball game. Now a walk to Bullitt and another one to Sandberg has given the Cubs a great opportunity.
That's Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, coming out. Kind of surprising that he would pitch essentially around Sandberg with Grace on deck. You don't have the left-hander in the pen, so you're looking at a very tough left-hand hitter with a right-hander on the mound. So Dan Warthen.
Hey, Steve, that's Doug Butler working in the bullpen, and he also was involved in the Brad Osmus and Andy Ashby trade, with Ashby being the player to be named later. So they got 3 men, one helping them in the bullpen, the starting catcher and the starting pitcher. That was some kind of deal they made to Colorado. Line drive, base hit, first pitch. Here's the runner trying to score. Whoa, he falls down, and he's tagged out. Rounding third base, Bullitt slipped and fell about 3/4 of the way to the plate, and he's tagged out. That's a bad break.
Well, Ricky Henderson has made a living, Low, these many years on getting to the ball quickly in left field and then making some pretty accurate throws. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but look how quickly he gets to it. The throw is pretty accurate, and Bullitt just loses his footing. And as he goes tumbling, Osmus puts the tag on, but the runners move up to second and third for Sammy Sosa. Mark Grace thought he had the first run batted into the year. Instead, Bullitt winds up short of the plate.
All right, here is Sammy Sosa, who singled and scored on Service's home run in the